All right. Okay, so got a video request pretty much from a subscriber. I would pray that you're a subscriber. I'll show the name somewhere, probably up here. Anyway, so I believe this is Sadie's 14. Says that he or she would love to see a video in depth of how the financial things work for leasing or buying a truck and a tank. So I spoke about these things before, but you also want to know how does it work with getting, like, I guess, fuel routes and all that type of stuff. So I'm gonna tell you right now, there's no fuel routes, like, not that I know of. Only thing I know for a fact is you have to sign your truck on, more than likely, unless you're able to get your own tank. I'm gonna let you know right now, those tanks are really, ooh, my bad, really expensive. Hopefully you guys didn't hear me bump the mic. But yeah, normally I don't drop videos throughout the week, and the reason being is because I have to work, bro. Like, I still got to work early tomorrow morning, so I'll try to make this video as quick and sweet and as informative as possible for you, Sadies. Okay, so if you are not subscribed, Sadies, go ahead and please subscribe, leave a like, and watch some more videos of mine. Hopefully you become a loyal subscriber. But so let's get into this, man, real quick. So when you are buying a truck, first thing I would like to say, be mindful of the price. I'm going to show some trucks on here as well. Let's go ahead and switch this camera really quick. So in case you don't know any sources of how to buy a truck, I'm going to show you right now. Source number one would be, hopefully you guys can see here on the screen. Actually, let me get myself out the way. Facebook Marketplace. This is where I purchased my first truck. I actually bought it for about, I don't know what, $9,000, something like that. And it was a 2013 Volvo. Nothing special or anything like that, but one thing you actually have to get past is a lot of you guys are actually looking for, as CAJ Logistics, Mr. Chase and Andrew Jackson calls it, the latest greatest shoe shine. So you have to get past that for the most part. If you can't get past it, it's going to be a pretty difficult road for you. So be mindful of the pricing and all those things, because all those guys that want to drive like the brand new latest greatest shoe shine, as CAJ call it, it's going to be very expensive. You know, I just actually watched Josh's video as well, and let me just go ahead and put this out there right now. I don't care what Josh, I don't care what Chase and Andrew Jackson, anybody else on this YouTube platform has going on. For the most part, I watch both of these guys for entertainment. I'm not on either one of their side. I can care less. But so rather you lease or rather you purchase a truck, that's completely on you. Make that decision yourself. However, this is Facebook Marketplace. This is one spot that you can type in and actually look up trucks. So let's go ahead and do it right here. Let's look up day cabs. So when you look on Facebook, you know, everything has a filter. This says San Francisco. So what you do is, you know, you just type in your location or whatever you're looking for. But when you're buying a truck, you got to be mindful. You have to be willing to travel sometimes, you know, even if you find a truck for a sweet deal and things like that, you have to be willing to just go ahead and buy that plane ticket and go check it out. So for my case, let's try Atlanta. Okay. 40-mile radius. Now we're going to up that to at least 250. So this is what I would do if I was looking for a truck. Like if you're looking for a cash truck, this is one thing you can do. Now, if you're looking to sign it on, so I would say also, like I said before, be mindful of the pricing. The pricing can actually make or break you, if I'm being totally honest. If you have a truck that's like $100-something thousand, you're more than likely not going to pay that. So what I like to do is look for the cheapest truck possible. Like if it's $9,000 or something like that, the cheapest truck possible, but also it can make the what do you call it? The necessary year. Like if you have to sign it on with someone, like you can get an older truck when you get your own authority. It's not a big deal. But however, let's look into some of these trucks, man. Like here we go. The very first one, International 8600. I'm gonna tell you right now, I probably wouldn't buy this. And it's max force. Yep, there you go, right there. Nope, absolutely not, bro. Number two, you got this day cab right here, Freightliner. That's probably decent, depending on the engine. Like some of these Columbias right here and things like that, They usually have like a Detroit 60 series in them, so those are pretty good and pretty reliable engines. Now, I'm not here to tell anyone to buy a truck. I'm not here to tell anyone what type of truck to buy, anything like that. So this video is going to be pretty vague with the answers, but it's still going to be quite informative. So Sadie, stick in there. Stick in there. I'm going to get a little more in depth on this. So also Sterling, all this other stuff. So right now, for example, I know a lot of these not leasing companies, these companies, if you decide you're going to sign your truck on, you have to have at least, what do you call it? Normally they want it to be within that 10-year mark. So you always got to do that as well. Just be within that 10-year mark or whatever. And yeah, man. So let's just take even more of a look. What else? Here's a Cascadia for 17.5. Not bad. It's probably got a Detroit 13, DD13 in it. Yep, here we go right here. DD13, 410 horsepower. Not a bad truck, bro. Look at the miles. The miles aren't bad either. So the reason I say this is because if you also have to think about it this way. You got to have a plan with your truck. You don't know if you're going to need a day cab, because if you're going to be home every day, you don't know if you're going to need a sleeper truck because you're planning on being over the road for weeks at a time, months at a time, or whatever. But what I will say is, if you can find you a sweet little local gig, then absolutely go for it, man. Let's look at some of these pictures here. It's a 2017, so this is still within that 10-year range that most of these companies look for when you're trying to sign a vehicle on. So you just go ahead and I would hit this person up. The miles look pretty decent. 532, not bad, especially for local use. That's not bad whatsoever. Both of my trucks are day cabs, so if I ever do need to go over the road, I can still go over the road with my day cab. But a lot of companies, if I'm signed on, they're not going to allow me to sign on a day cab for over the road jobs and things like that. So I would probably have to get a sleeper then. But if you do start your own authority, then it doesn't matter. You're your own company. You do what you want. But yeah, pretty decent truck right there. 2017 Freightliner. I'll probably hit them up. That'd be a decent truck for one of you guys. Here we go. International LT day cab coming. So it has a Cummins engine. I have mixed opinions about the Cummins. Excuse me. This is actually a really clean truck. I remember driving one like this when I drove for a JB Hunt, except it had the sleeper and everything in the back. Oh, look at the miles. 434. That's really good miles right there, especially for that price. It says DOT condition. That's great. Yeah, all that stuff. Now, here's the thing. Cummins X15. So I'm used to the ISX 16, whatever it's called. I don't know the horsepower of this one, but also when you're looking for a truck, like I said, you have to pay attention to specs of the truck and all of that stuff. Like, you don't want a single axle truck because you're not going to be able to haul anything too heavy, really, at least not legally. Also, let me see if they have any sleeper trucks on here. This is a really nice truck right here. Western Star. If you guys don't know, I showed it in a couple of my other videos. I actually like Western Stars, man. They're pretty decent. Oh, why did they exit out? Let's go back to it. Yeah, this is a really clean truck right here. Oh, that'll be a problem right there for you guys. If you don't know how to drive a stick, this isn't a 10-speed. This is either 13 or 18. Yeah, so 13 over here. Here it is. See more. Where's the horsepower? Yeah, so this has the same horsepower as my Western Star, 455 horsepower. Except mine has the DD13 in it, not the DD15. So the DD15 is typically a little bit stronger than the DD13, and people say more reliable, but I can't really speak on that too much. I'm still pretty new to Western Star, but anyway, yeah, that's a really nice truck right there. Here we go. Let's look at this one real quick. This is Montgomery 13,000 long nose Pete. This is an 86 though. Like, oh boy, yeah, it's pretty ancient, ain't it? That's the antiques right there. Not for hire. Okay, that's all the images they have. Let's look into some of these specs here. Okay, so it doesn't have any any details really about horsepower or what type of engine. I'm almost willing to bet that this either has a Cummins or a Cat motor in it. I'm sure it's a Cat, but if you find something that has a Cat motor in it, most likely it's going to be pretty expensive to fix it, like for maintenance and things like that. So yeah, that's typically how that works there. Let's go ahead and stop sharing the screen. Get my face back in here. So yeah, always have to be mindful when you're buying a truck, bro. Like I said, pricing, what type of truck do you need? Like I said, if I have day cabs, but if I need to go over the road, I'm okay with being a little bit uncomfortable until I save up the money, especially with your own authority. You're going to get that money quite fast, if I'm being honest, to get you any type of truck that you want to get. So it's not that big of a deal here. But if you're looking to sign on, then, you know, like I said, depending on what type of job you're trying to do, you're either going to need a sleeper or you're going to need a, what do you call it, day cab, just depending on what you're trying to do. So always go into it knowing what you're trying to do before you actually just jump into it. Let's see, what else do we have? How much money should you have before purchasing a truck? So like I said, some of these answers are going to be quite vague, and these are one of those answers right here. So when you're going into this, a lot of people may say, oh, you need 10,000. Oh, you need 20, you need 50. Like, it really just depends on your circumstances, bro. Like, whatever you can save it. Yeah, that's all I can say about that. I don't want to tell somebody to save up 10,000 or whatever the case. Then they go into it with just 10, get their truck, and then something happens with the truck. Now they don't have money for the maintenance to, you know, fix the truck and all those type of things. Whenever a breakdown does happen, breakdowns don't happen that often, I'll say. Let me not say that, because a lot of people don't take care of their rigs and things like that either. So anyway, let's get this one out of here. Let's look at another website really quick. So if you don't want to buy on Facebook Marketplace, usually those type of situations, Facebook Marketplace, are for the people who save up, like I said, a lump sum of money, and they're looking to just go ahead and drop all of it right then and there and get their truck and title just like that. That's what I did with my first one. Now my second one was financed. So we're going to talk about this finance situation right here. So if you're looking to finance, Penske's another pretty reliable source when it comes to purchasing a vehicle. However, once again, you definitely have to be mindful of everything you're doing here. So let's look into some of these trucks. Now, as you guys can see the price difference on here, because this is coming strictly from a dealer or a truck rental place, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, here's a day cab right here. Pretty low miles, 424, 35K, 35.7. Not a bad deal. Not that bad of a deal, man. Let's look into this one right here. Look at some of these specs. So when I'm looking for a truck, especially when I look at it in person, I'm going in with a scan tool, all type of things. Like, I'm not about to play around with it, because once again, this is a pretty big investment right here. So you want to make sure you're not getting the raw end of the deal, because especially if you have payments and things like that, if you decide you're going to finance your truck, hell, even take a mechanic with you. If you can, take a mechanic with you, do whatever you got to do. And as you guys can see, like I said, yeah, X15 Cummins right here. Now that we're on another X15, where are the details of this, man? I want to see the horsepower. Here it is. So these are the specs right here. Just in case you guys don't know what specs are, specifications of the truck. So here's the color. No backup camera. Like I said, it's not going to be the newest thing ever. Where's the horsepower? Yeah, it doesn't. Okay, horsepower right here. 450. That's pretty decent for X15. So I think that's more powerful than the ISX 15 Cummins. So I think the ISX is only 400 horsepower. So the reason horsepower matters is because if you're going to haul some heavy things, I want you to know that, especially if you're looking into getting into gas. A lot of the time you're going to haul a fully loaded tank, which is normally about 75K pounds, 75,000 pounds, whatever you want to call it. I only know how much it weighs. I've never went over a scale, but once again, my Western Star has like the little suspension scale type of situation in it. So whenever I'm fully loaded, I can see how much it weighs right there on the dash. But yeah, it's not a bad truck right here. I think I showed you guys the pictures already. All right, on to the next truck. Let's look into some sleepers, man. Where are the sleepers? Okay, here we go. 2018 Freightliner. This one has 400 and I just seen the miles. Now I can't find it. I literally just seen the miles on here, bro. I think it was like 490 something on the miles, which isn't bad. But once again, if you're going over the road, you want those miles as low as possible. So let's look into this sleeper here. 2018 Freightliner. Oh yeah. I like that sleeper. It looks pretty clean to me. I wanted a bigger picture of the sleeper. Here we go. That ain't no better. Come on, y'all. All right, yeah. That looks pretty clean, man. I like that. Besides this damn duct tape up here on the top bunk. But hey, man, it's not always gonna be perfect. So anyway, yeah, man, this would be perfect, man, for an OTR setup. You know, you put your little microwave or your TV in this little cubby hole or against this wall over here. Now, when I buy a sleeper, I don't know if you guys see this or not. This little bitty window right here, that's like a pet peeve of mine right there. Like that little small window, I like to let a little sunlight in. Sorry, guys, my allergies bother me. I had to cut some grass earlier. It's killing my allergies. Anyway, I like to have a window back here because it, you know, when you have like the setup that you want, it's something about sunlight that just makes the day feel better, you know? Now you can just open up the back windows. They're tinted anyway, so it's not like people can just see right up in there easily. But for the most part, this little square window or rectangle window that you just push out, can't stand them, bro. I wouldn't buy that just because of that. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. If they have this type of truck on here. That's the Freightliner though. Okay, so the miles right here, 493, 45K. Yeah, most sleepers are about this price, like $40-something thousand. So that's why I don't have a sleeper, because I don't necessarily need one. I'm home every day. Now, let me get back to your initial question. You also asked about leasing. This is a serious matter. Let me zoom in a little bit. Hold on, give me a second. Mouth getting dry. It's not alcohol, y'all. I don't drink like that. But anyway, so you asked about leasing. What I can say is when you're leasing a truck, because I've bought trucks and I've worked company for majority of my trucking career. I've been driving almost 10 years. 10 years will be in January, actually. However, when you're leasing a truck, the reason I say I'm not necessarily I'm against leasing. I'm gonna be real. I'm against leasing. I mean, you do what you can as a stepping stone to get you where you need to be. But when it comes to leasing, man, they are screwing guys over left and right. I was getting screwed over and didn't realize it. And that was because that was my first ever lease. And ever since then, I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing it again. Unless I absolutely have to. So what was going on with the lease was the difference is when you get it from a dealership, right? You look at this price and all this stuff, they're going to want, I believe it's 20% down for the truck for the most part, depending on where you go. They're going to want that 20% down of the total price. So I don't think I have a calculator. I do have a calculator on here. I'm not going to bring it up. However, so 20%, I can do it right here real quick on my phone for you guys. All right, so look at this. I know you guys probably want a sleeper anyway, so let's look at the sleeper. Look at this brand new Volvo. I love these Volvos, bruh. Hella nice. Anyway, look at the total price, 61K, right? Type in 61K right here. Then you multiply that by 0.20, which will be 20%, correct? So $12,200 is what you would have to come up with as a down payment. Now that's if your credit's good. You know what I mean? For the most part, if you have fucked up credit, they're gonna want a little more than that. They're gonna want almost 50% down, right? So 61K, multiply that by let's do a little fair number. I say 0.35% most likely if you have messed up credit. $21,000 down, 21,350. So that's what I'm saying. For the most part, I wouldn't really focus on that too much. So before you even purchase a truck, try to get your credit together. Like at least get to the 700s. Like if you possibly can, get to the 700s, pay off most of your debt. Like if you have credit card debt, things like that. They already know most people have car notes, but they also look for people who actually financed the truck before. Like if it's your first time financing, they're gonna probably want a little bit more down depending on the company for the most part. However, yeah, so that's Penske right there. If you guys want to look at more trucks, I'll just keep scrolling through and show you guys what I'm looking for. So Penske is a pretty decent source, but I think a lot of these big name dealerships like Penske, Volvo, Kenworth, Mack, I think it's called, I can't remember, Nextran for Mack. A lot of the times they overprice a lot of these trucks, man. So yeah, for financing, first of all, you're gonna have that payment one time a month. Compared to leasing, they're gonna charge you weekly for it. So is guys out here paying $900 a week, $1,000, $1,500 a week, stuff like that for these brand new trucks or whatever you want to call it. Meanwhile, if you get your truck from a dealer, like based on your LLC or your personal name, whatever you got, whatever you're gonna use, the payments aren't that bad. Like you might pay, like right now, I think I know a guy actually, he's paying like basically $900 a month for his truck, and that sounds like a pretty sweet deal to me. So I would do the same if that was the case, compared to leasing a truck where you're paying $900 a week. Think of the difference. You're paying $900 a week. That's $3,600 on that truck every single month. You're already in a steep hole. Already. So let's move around a little bit. Oh, you guys couldn't see any of that stuff. Let's see. I'm sorry, guys. So yeah, here we go. 2019 Volvo, like I said. So this is the window I was talking about right here. All that good stuff. Yeah. All that. This is the back of the truck. Real clean, nice and basic, but whatever. And you can tell it has a Volvo engine. Anytime you see that green underneath the hood like that, it's Volvo, more than likely. But yeah, man, there you go. That's not the newest truck, but if you're looking for something brand new, let me show you the price of something. Like, I know you guys are probably looking for like a 2025, 2026. Let me show you guys the price of that real quick. Here we go. Let's get these filters in here. Okay, so let's say 20. What the hell is this? Come on, y'all. Out the way. 2024 through 2026. You guys are looking for spaceships out here. Okay, so I don't think Penske keeps anything that brand new in their fleet. Yeah, so they only go up to 2022. Here we go. The Volvo dealership right here. Let's do a little bit of scrolling. Now this right here, bro. This is 2025. Bro, look how clean this is. Look at how nice this is right here. I can't even zoom in on this website. But look at that. Like a spaceship, bro. That is clean. I love Volvo trucks, y'all. Especially when they got this whole setup right here. I wish I can zoom in. Yeah, I can't even zoom in. But yeah, this is the one that has like the little dinette in the back right here, where you can set it up like a, what do you call it? Like a dining room table or a restaurant booth, you know, and put the little table in the middle right here. And you could just really sit back there, watch your TV and chill, bro. But for the most part, you're going to be driving. So probably not going to enjoy that too much until you're on your 34-hour or your 10-hour break. Really, really nice truck though. And it still has the the top, what do you call it? The top bunk up here with the ladder and everything. I will be chilling in this truck, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That is clean. What's the horsepower on this thing, bro? Engine SN. I don't know what that is. The serial number? That's not a serial number. 1,400,000. What the hell is that, bro? This one still runs on diesel, shockingly, based on the looks. I thought it was electric, to be real with you. It's a 12-speed as well. Yeah, man, this is really nice. This is in Phoenix, Arizona, if you guys want to go check it out. Oh, it has 50 miles on it. Oh, yeah, that is brand spanking new. So I'm going to tell you right now, 50 miles for 2025? Oh, yeah. You're going to be in that finance office selling booty, bro.
Now, ain't no party like a Diddy party. Y'all know how y'all was doing it back in 64. Dancing.
If you're trying to get this, you're going to have to give up them cheeks and an arm and a leg for it. This, whew. Oh, boy. Let's keep looking, man. Where's something with an actual price on it? Here's a Pete right here. What year is this? 2022. That's not a bad deal. 49K. This is in Atlanta as well. That is a big ass truck. I like that window in the back. Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look. Like I told you guys, man, all these trucks look the same in the back. Like it's nothing really special about the back of it. Ooh, you got them black leather seats too. Them summer days gonna be vicious, boy. Burning ass and back. Yeah, this is clean though. I like this. I like that deer guard on the front. That is clean. And it's sky blue. Oh yeah, that must be an old Warner truck. Yeah, it kind of looked like an old Warner truck to me. But yeah, real nice, bro. As you guys can see, no price on it, so they're gonna try to get you down there and haggle you out your bank account. This is a 579, 462,000 miles. Not bad. 2022. It has a pack car. I don't know how I feel about pack car. MX-13. You know, it has mixed reviews on the pack car engine. You know what I mean? 12 speed. So anyway, I'm not about to do this all night, guys. So the last option would be, I think I already covered leasing. I've already covered financing. Yeah, so let's we can close that part out. Get that off the screen. So the last option would be, if you guys don't want to do that and you want to take a real gamble for real, here's an auction for you. Yeah. Switch the screen. Boom. Uh-oh, it ain't on the stage. What am I doing? There we go. So anyway, here we go at Taylor & Martin auction. Like I said, I'm going to give you guys 3 resources if you're trying to look for a truck. You got the dealership, you got the Facebook marketplace, and you got right here, which will be the auction. So you have to be really careful. You really have to know what you're looking for if you decide to go to an auction, and you have to be willing to travel, because most of the time the auction isn't right there in your hometown. So yeah, man. I do want to answer this question real quick though as well. Yeah, you don't have to bid for any routes or anything like that based on my experience when it comes to I've never been on the authority side of trucking yet, but that is overall my goal. However, what I do know about driving with a tank, matter of fact, I could show you the tanker real quick too, like the pricing of it. I'm sure they have one on the auction. Let's see. Yep, here we go right here. Tanker. No image, but I never thought about getting a tanker from an auction, but this is pneumatic. I wonder if they have a fuel haul. They don't have fuel. Nope. But yeah, the good thing about an auction is, bro, you can find your trailer and any other thing that you want. A truck, a trailer, dump truck, you name it. Yeah, man. So let's try to look at some of their inventory here. Browse equipment. All right. So I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. When you go to an auction, like if you don't put any filters in, excuse me, a lot of the time it's gonna be copy and paste trucks. Like as you guys can see, a lot of these people A lot of these big mega carriers here, what they do is they use the hell out the truck, then they try to throw it in the auction to see how much they can get off of the truck once they no longer want it. Because a lot of these big name companies, they don't necessarily buy the trucks themselves. A lot of them don't. They'll lease them or whatever. They'll give them back to the finance company and lease even more newer trucks. And what they do is just go ahead and pick up newer leases for more brand new trucks. That's it. Now, you do have companies out here who do buy trucks, and what they do after that, after they get all the use out of them or whatever, or if they're going out of business, they throw them in auction and they make people auction for them, starting off at whatever price they set it at. $5,000. Okay, going once, going twice, 7. Like they do all that stuff, bro. But yeah, like I said, it's gonna just be copy and paste because they get rid of their whole fleet at the auction. That's not to say it's not good trucks. I mean, like I said, you gotta do your due diligence, man. You gotta know what you're doing, what you're getting yourself into. These are in Vegas, however. Now, if you go on the West Coast, you could probably find a pretty sweet deal getting these trucks out there because, oh man, I know they just passed a bill, I want to say like a year or two ago, where you can no longer be like a 1099 guy in California. So when you hear a lot of guys on YouTube talking about not going to the West Coast, that's why, for the most part, because the emissions issue out there. Like I said, I'm from there. The speed limit when you're coming into California is 55. Oh boy. And you're looking at nothing but mountains, desert. That's it. It's dry, bro. Who want to sit through that for hours driving 55 miles an hour on a 2-lane highway? Nobody. So I don't know, bro. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I covered just about everything. Let's get my face back on here. Oh, I said I was going to show you guys the fuel hauling trailer. Let me see if I can find it real quick before I take my butt to bed. So here's another example right here. If you're looking to buy a fuel hauler, like you can get the little small ones, but it's about the same price as a truck. So $18K. These are the ones that like normally go to like airports and things like that. I don't know what type of tanker, Mercedes. I don't know what type of tanker you're talking about. You want information about? You never really specified, but I'm gonna assume you will want like the big tanker, right? So why the hell do they have like trucks attached to them? I'm not understanding. I typed in tanker, not truck and tanker. I don't know. I never thought about that though, but this is actually opening my eyes a little bit. This got some miles on it. Boy, my God. This got 1 million miles on it. 19K. This is a Western Star. Let's take a look at this. I know this is one of the short tankers, but just bear with me. Western Star, like a long nose. Yeah, so this is one of the little short tankers, but this don't seem like a bad deal right here either. A million miles is kind of crazy though if you're gonna take a gamble like that, because that's most definitely probably due for a rebuild. Hours are decent, I guess. I mean, it is a used truck at the end of the day. This has the same exact engine as mine, same, a little less horsepower, but basically the same 10 speed as mine. I'm trying to see if this one has the baffles on the inside, which you can put multiple different products in. Like if you got regular gas, premium gas, diesel gas, you could break it all up. If not, but I mean, because if you look at these pictures up here, it doesn't really look like it, just because of the fact that I only see one opening at the top. Okay, man, get me back to the pictures, bro. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing here? Here it is right here. So it only has like the little tank well up here at the top. You can't even open this. So even if you did buy this, like how would you even open that? I don't even know. I mean, I don't work with these little short tanks anyway. I work with the whole trailer, that has the baffles and separate all the products in it. Matter of fact, let me try something else. Let me try a different way to look at a fuel tanker. So here's a couple of examples right here of a fuel hauling trailer. Mercedes, if you wanted to know. Like I said, these ones right here with no price on them. First of all, they're most likely older, but then on top of that, they're probably gonna need a little bit of work. Um, I'm sure you can probably get your hands on it or whatever the case, but a lot of people probably not gonna bid for that. But if you're looking for a pretty decent trailer, here's one right here actually. Let's look into this one. So this one can haul up to 90. Where did it go? I just seen it. I think it was like 92,000 or 9,000 gallons. Let me go back. Where is it? Yeah, here it is right here. So the capacity, 9,200 gallons. That's pretty typical. $69,000. Not too bad. And is this a 5-hole trailer? I can't zoom in. Yeah, there we go. That's not bad, bro. 69K. Yeah, so I wonder if they're gonna show it from the side. Here we go. So this is a 4-hole trailer. You got your vapor right here. Hole number, this will be compartment number 4, 3, 2, 1. So yeah, you got a 4-hole compartment trailer. This is not bad at all. You do have the forgot what they call those wheels, like the thicker wheels on the back of it. So that's gonna be more expensive if you have a blowout back there. You can always change it, but that's gonna be just even more money. Now, what I don't like is the fact that this trailer, the hoses go into like these little slots right here. So you're kind of limited to the amount of hoses that you can carry with you. 4 hoses, for the most part, you can get some things done, but what happens when you need more than just 4 hoses? You got 2 short, 2 long hoses. You probably get away with it, but where does your vapor go? Like your vapor hose, you're gonna have to put that in one of these. So technically you got 3 slots for that. That's about it. But yeah, man, this isn't bad right here. If any of you guys decide that you want to get a trailer, here you go right here. Heal, I believe that's how you pronounce that. HEIL. I've used that trailer actually where I'm at currently. That's not bad, bro. That is not bad. 69,000. Now here's where it gets like really expensive right here, and the prices they're gonna definitely vary depending on where you're looking. But yeah, this one is really nice and clean. Let's zoom in on this one too. 119K though is pretty crazy for that price. But this trailer looks pretty good. See, this trailer looks like it has a little shelf on the side of it, so that's really good as well. So you'll be able to just put as many hoses as you need, put all that stuff there. Is that 5? 1, 2? Hold on, I can't see y'all. Here we go. Let's zoom in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so you got a 5-hole trailer. Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. But that price is pretty steep, bro. That price is really steep. But people paying this for a truck, so I don't see why nobody would like. I don't see why the people wouldn't go for it. I mean, if you out there in Pasadena, Texas, that's where this is. Here you go. If you got the bread for that, go for it, man. 2026 Polar. That's a pretty nice trailer right there. But yeah, man, I'm not going to beat the dead horse here. So, moral of the story. Let me close this out, bro. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. I got to get to bed, y'all. It's getting late here. I still got to get up in the morning. So, hopefully you guys found this video informative. Be mindful of the pricing. For the most part, when you go into these dealerships, make sure you have a pretty decent solid down payment, so that way they don't try to screw you over. Because my credit was pretty good when I got my first finance truck. I think it was like in the 750s or something like that, and they still was trying to like finesse me out of money. So always make sure your credit is decent. Make sure you have a decent down payment. Make sure that you know what you're looking for. Make sure you have a nice game plan for that truck, so that way as soon as they finance it to you, you can immediately just start making money. Last thing you want to do, why is my globe not spinning? There we go. Last thing you will want to do is get the truck and not know what you're going to do with it, and then you're just going to be sitting on the truck pretty much for who knows how long until you figure it out. But what else? I think that's about it. Hopefully I answered all your questions, man. And make sure, Sadies, leave a like. I'm talking to you directly because you are the one who requested this. So, like I said, I was already in the middle of getting ready to make something like this anyway. So I appreciate you, for the questions. Anybody else, if you have any questions or any other video requests or any information that you want to know when it comes to trucking, fuel hauling, you name it, whatever, dry van, whatever, go ahead and hit me up in the comments, y'all. Other than that, I believe that is just about all I have for you guys. So good night and peace. I'm out. You guys have a blessed one.
I'm talking about all the way to the top, yeah. Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in, but the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.